Hi, I'm Miss Hearn. Let's get started. And if you find this video helpful, please remember to give it a thumbs up. That helps other students to find the video. So everything we're going to talk about is associated with either a tangent or a secant. Okay, so one thing is the slope of a secant line is the slope through 2 points, and the slope of a tangent line is the slope at 1 point. The slope of a secant line we can write as f of x2 minus f of x1 over x2 minus x1, or equivalently, we can write it as f of x sub 0 plus h minus f of x sub 0 divided by h. These mean the same thing when you let x1 be x sub 0 and x2 be x sub 0 plus h. So h is just the distance between x1 and x2. Now for a tangent line, we have to take the limit of all the secant lines as the distance between the two, h, is getting smaller and smaller. So that's going to be the limit of f of x sub 0 plus h minus f of x sub 0 over h. Now we call this quantity here, we call that the difference quotient. So the slope of a secant line you can associate with the difference quotient. It's just another formula for slope between 2 points. And then this guy here is called the limit of the difference quotient. And that gives you the slope at a particular point. Okay, the slope of a secant line is going to be over an interval. So we call that an average rate of change over an interval of x values. And that interval might be x1 to x2, or you can think of it as x sub 0 to x sub 0 plus h. Whereas when we're talking about a slope of a tangent line, we're talking about instantaneous rate of change, and it's at a particular x value, a single x value. And that might be called x sub 0, or, well, usually it's x sub 0, or a. Now, sometimes if the function happens to be representing a position or a distance, then the slope of the tangent line is the instantaneous velocity, instantaneous speed, but I'm going to call it velocity. Okay, whereas in the case of a secant line, if f of x is a position or distance function, then we're talking about the average velocity. So depending on which exercise you're working, these different concepts will come up, and it all comes down to understanding which they're talking about, the slope of a tangent line or the slope of a secant line. In the case of a tangent line, we can use f prime of x sub 0 to mean the derivative at x sub 0, and that's the same as the slope of the tangent line. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. That will help other students to find the video.